Appeals, please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction, or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 22-192 of Marion Jensen, property located in North Babylon.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
Okay, do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 9th, 2022, Environmental Control memo dated November 15th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by William Holgan dated June 30th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 10 photographs on the site plan by Jam Design Services dated August 26, 2022.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Basically, here on behalf of the sellers and the new buyers, the property has recently gone to closing. We have submitted new owner's endorsement and closing documents for Mr. Henry Lopez, who is the current owner now. So these things were items that came up at the closing. There is an existing 15 by 16 side wood deck. Also, I noticed in the planning comments, we inadvertently left out the height of the deck. It is 2 foot 3 inches high, and I do have revised plans with me. There was, on the southwest corner of the property, there used to be an overhang that was illegally constructed that has been removed, and a final survey's been ordered. We're just waiting on that, and then that overhang will be gone from that survey. And there's also an existing shed that's 14 by 6 in the southwest corner. It is quite old. The sellers weren't able to take it down, but we would absolutely agree to, if it was to ever be removed, it would be rebuilt in a conforming location. And it is nice and screened back there. There's some larger trees, so it's not really intrusive to the neighbor's property, that shed.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Good evening, how are you?
Good, Mr. Shepherd, how are you?
Great. So 2 foot 3 inches, that's on the new survey? The height?
I actually have revised plans. I could ask the surveyor to put it on the survey as well, but we did note it on the architectural plans.
Okay, and you do agree that the shed ever be moved, put in a conforming location?
Yes.
Okay. I have one question. On
Yeah.
the south side of the property, it's on the survey too, and I drove by there this morning. What's going on with the concrete?
Yeah, so I've actually never seen this before, so I
Me
don't know.
neither.
It is, he was apparently like a very do-it-himself type man. It's under Marion Jensen, which was a trust, so it's her father that had passed away. That's why they were dealing with it prior to selling it. It's for when you want to change your own oil. So in other words, the car is there and it's a little, I know I looked into it. It
I
didn't
thought it
seem
was
like it needed a permit.
I thought it was a boat ramp.
No, it's
I
actually
did.
to
I was like,
change
what
your
the
own
hell is
oil.
this? Yeah. All right, so that is, but that abuts the property line, doesn't it?
The concrete on the side, yeah, it's actually right on the property line, but it's next to their driveway. It didn't come up in terms of a notice of illegal structures or anything. However, we'd, be willing to address it if it is a problem.
It's right, it goes right, there's no easement between
No,
the property line
it's right
and-
at the
and
property
structure,
line.
right? And how far back does it go? Because it's a slope and I couldn't,
It is about, I would say, probably 19 feet, because it's...
doesn't go back to underneath where the shed, the
No.
lean-to was?
No, the overhang, no. It's, there was a previous garage conversion. We're also legalizing the garage conversion. However, it didn't need, zoning approval. So that concrete area is in line with the garage conversion, which would be this size.
Yeah, no, I saw it, yeah, okay. All right, so you'll agree that the height is the deck is 2 feet 3 inches?
2 foot 3
And
inches.
you agreed to relocate the shed
Yes.
if it ever need be? Mr. Chairman, you want to? It's up against the property line. Talk about it? Yeah.
So did you see the DEC, oh, go ahead, John.
No, that's all right, go ahead.
Did you see the DEC comments where it's talking about abutting freshwater wetlands?
No. Okay.
You have it?
So a non-jurisdiction letter or an actual DEC permit would be required?
It says the property appears to abut DEC-regulated freshwater wetlands. For their protection, the applicant should coordinate with the New York State DEC to
Okay.
ascertain jurisdiction.
Okay, yeah, this came up, believe it or not, I didn't even get to page 2 until just now, and I wasn't expecting that. So is this something I could follow up with the building department on?
All right, so you need to reach out to make sure that you don't need a permit,
Okay,
all right?
and if so,
Because it's abutting
provide
the
a
wetlands.
non-jurisdiction letter.
Right,
Okay,
all right?
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next application is application 22-189 of Anthony Padavano. Property located in West Babylon.
How you doing?
Name and address for the record.
Anthony Padavano, 145 Bedell Street?
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 9th, 2022, Environmental Control memo dated November 15th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Lawrence Michael Haynes dated November 27th, 2020, tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 7 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes. So I put a pool over the summer of last year, and the shed was totally in the way of the pool. So we relocated the shed where it's currently now, and I want to move the shed now where it's currently into the corner of the property. I feel like this shed is just too close to the pool. I put an in-ground pool, and that's really pretty much it.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, and so you built this shed?
Yes.
You did? Good job.
Thank you.
He was leery.
I'm like, oh, well, I'm just an electrician.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with the movement of the shed. The pergola, though,
Yes.
you guys are keeping the fencing that you currently have now?
When I had no idea we had to get it, permitted and such. So when I did find out, I would like to leave it there and get it legalized to stay there. Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine with that. If the shed is ever taken down, so have you moved it already, or no?
I have not moved it. No, I'm not moving it till I get an okay to move it. I'm trying to comply here.
Absolutely.
That's rich. Not usual, but.
Exactly.
Well, I'm in construction. They like to do things twice. I don't. I don't even want to do it once.
All right, so we're going to approve it with the condition that if it's ever taken down after this, it is placed in a conforming location,
Meaning what?
meaning that it would be from the distance from the,
Oh, where it is existing?
Yeah.
I understand.
you understand?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And that the deck not be enclosed. You have a deck back there?
There is a deck, yeah.
You agree to not enclose that? To not enclose it?
Oh, no, I wouldn't enclose it, no.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions.
I don't, it's not over 14 feet, no.
All right.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Okay, come on up. Have a seat. Name and address for the record, please.
Eduardo and Elizabeth Henriquez, my wife. 146 Kellam Street, West Babylon.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us?
Well, the shed that he's going to put there, he wants to diminish it from 40 feet to 2 feet on the curb, on the side of the street. And we are objecting to it because it's very close to the street, and we're in the backside. We're the backside neighbors. And when the sun hits it in the summer, the tin roof that he has on it reflects on our property, and it's kind of blinding. And same thing with the cars coming on that way, from that direction. So we're objecting for it to be moved from 40 feet to 2 feet.
We have pictures here if you want to.
If you'd like to submit them, we'd take them.
Yeah, I'd
sure.
like to submit these pictures.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, that's about it, yeah.
Well, we feel that that being so close to the curb and blocking some of that view from the street, if we were to sell a property, that might, the value of the home, of our home, it could affect the value of our home, having that huge structure
Oh,
right there in the
It's
corner.
10 feet tall.
Yeah, it's really tall.
What? Oh. So you're talking about the pergola?
No,
No,
we're
no,
talking
no, the
about the
shed.
shed.
Shed?
We don't object to the pergola. We're just have, it's with the shed. And also, we just want to be nice neighbors. We're willing to compromise to 25 feet. Move it over 25 feet. I understand that it's too close to his pool. I understand that. So he can move it 25 feet instead of all the way to, where the property line is, with the curb. It's very close to the street side. So 25 feet over, it might clear the pool area.
Is this where it is right now, or is this where he's looking to move it to?
He's got the bird's eye view up there.
Because of the pool.
Oh.
That's with the pool.
Okay. Thank you. We'll take a look. We're going to bring him back up. I want to ask him some
All right.
questions.
Okay, thank you.
Come on back up. You have to speak into the mic. We're recording.
Okay.
So, can you just, where is the pool, the shed that's on the survey here? Is that where the shed is?
Could I look at it first? No, I submitted where it is currently. Currently, it's right here. This is the side, this is the.
Okay, all right.
Well, it's my side yard, my front yard. I have two front yards, so I just found out.
Right, exactly.
So I put a pool, I put my pool back
Okay,
here.
all right.
and
We
the shed is-
we got, yeah, you're going to need to go back to the microphone, but we have a drawing actually here. We didn't see it before that. Okay. So this is, wants to move it over by here, from where it is over there.
How big is that shed?
8 by 8. I mean, if it's a roof, I built a tin roof. It was just, money was an issue. I could always shingle it. That's not a problem. And, they have the same view wherever it is now. To me, my opinion, it's the same view as where if it was there, then in the corner, I feel like it's the same view. You're gonna see it, and I built something to comply with what I'm allowed, and I'm allowed 2 10 by 10s. Am I in West Babylon?
We're allowed 100 square feet, but it's got to be 2 feet off the property line. Is this a? But, yeah, you got 2 front yards here, so.
But are you allowed 2 10-by-10s? Or just one
Sheds?
shed?
2 sheds.
You're allowed 2 sheds. Oh, and they have to add up to 100 square feet?
No.
Oh, right, so if I, right now, where the shed is, it's at my line, right?
Right.
If I was to get another shed, then it would be next to that one. I really wouldn't have anywhere to put it, but on that side of the property.
You're moving this shed,
I'm just
right?
moving
You're
the
just
shed.
moving the shed. We're not
Yes.
going to a second
No,
shed.
no,
Okay.
no, but I was just saying, like, if we were gonna have a problem with my one, if I was to get another one, then which.
You're allowed to shed in conforming locations.
Oh, right,
Yeah, well, it's always in conforming locations.
right.
Okay. All right.
So where do we go here?
Well, we'll make a decision on it.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
No. I hope everyone has a great night.
Would anybody else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Maybe you and your neighbor should talk.
Yeah, he should have talked to me before we got here. This is the first time I
Okay.
just spoke to him.
Maybe you should have a conversation outside, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail.
Thank you for coming down.
Thanks. You'll get the decision in the mail. Yeah, okay? Thank you. Thanks. Next application is application 22-190 of Kenneth DeStefano and Carol Lopez, property located in Farmingdale. Yeah, no, getting killed here.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
Kenneth DeStefano, 53 South Crescent Drive, Farmingdale.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Maybe I put it with my stuff. There you go. How come we didn't get one of these? I'm sorry, the housekeeping.
Kenneth DeStefano, 53 South Crescent Drive, Farmingdale.
Okay.
11725.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 9th, 2022, environmental control memo dated November 15th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by John Robinson dated April 27th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 5 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Apparently, my pool contractor put the pool not exactly in the right spot, so it's off. And in addition to that, we added pavers around the pool that now are too close to the property line.
Okay, so this was originally done in '07?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess my question is, what took you so long to get here?
To be quite honest with you, I thought that they closed it out, to be, so I had
the
no idea.
people that did the pool?
Yeah, I thought they took care of the whole thing. That
Oh,
was,
so did they apply for the permits, or you applied for the
they
permits?
applied for the permits.
They applied for the
They were
permits.
here with me that night when we had to come
When
to
you
get
did
the
it?
bid. Yeah.
Okay, and, all right, so you thought you,
I thought I was done, yeah.
okay. So what brings you here tonight, then?
Well, we're in the process of thinking about moving.
Okay.
So when we checked with the town, they said, oh, you have open permits.
Okay,
So,
okay, but you do have at least 1 foot with these pavers from the property line? They're not right on the property
no, they're not
line,
right on the property line, no.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 22-190.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll move it to the end. So we're going to move application number 4 to the end of our agenda. And we're going to go to number 5, and that's going to be application 22-191 of Brent Hall, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Brent Hall, 167 4th Avenue, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 11th, 2022, environmental control memo dated November 15th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Thomas Matarazzo dated November 12th, 2019, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 4 photographs and a site plan by Philip E. Kemp dated August 4th, 2022.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
There's an existing variance on the two sides of the property. I plan on going up on the house to create more space for my family. I saw that there was a porch that was proposed on the plans as well. I didn't realize that it would diminish the size of the front yard, but if that's an issue, I don't mind removing it. I just need the second story, in all honesty.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so we're just going straight up,
Yes.
just for extra space in the house, no rental, nothing like
No
that?
rental. I got 4 kids.
I understand. All right, and do you agree to not further enclose the porch?
I agree.
Okay, all right, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
All right, I make a motion to approve application number 22-191 with the condition that the front porch not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application is application 22-193 of GNR Building Corp., property located in Lindenhurst.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bizzell, Blanda, and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, for the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 9th, 2022. Environmental Control memo dated November 15th, 2022. They're asking for a number of conditions. Did you see that?
Mine didn't come with the environmental. Thank you.
No, that's good. Survey by William Simmons dated April 27th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 4 photographs and a site plan by Emmanuel Tenaddy dated July 20th, 2022.
Okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, GNR Building Corp. They are the contract vendee for this vacant parcel. They would like to construct a new single-family home on this lot. It is zoned Residence C. It has, it's on the west side of North Allegheny Avenue between Sunrise Highway and Frank Street, which is also then the border of the village of Lindenhurst. It's basically one lot down from, I think it's Tropical Smoothie and another little shopping center along Sunrise Highway. It does have its own tax map number, 10.2, and it has its own street address of 850 North Allegheny Avenue. It abuts the Business E zone to the north, which actually has another residential home on it with a CO for lot 10.1, which dates back to 1955. I think back then it's possible that they didn't really have subdivision regulations in the code, and so perhaps that's how it got subdivided to 10.1 and 10.2. And at that time, it was in the Business E zone, and that house didn't get any variance relief, at least as far as we could tell from town records. But that house, which is the same size as the lot that we are here on tonight, does have a CO, and I'll give that to the board. We're seeking only 2 variances, lot area and street frontage. We try to keep it simple by putting a modest-sized home on this lot, so we don't require any setback variances. We meet front yard, total side yard, and rear yard. We meet the height. We're proposing a 2-story, 3-bedroom and 2-bath with an internal garage. Again, we're simply trying to develop this parcel the same way the parcel to the north, which is 860 North Allegheny, is developed. The rest of the parcels on this block would not be able to be subdivided. They're all either 75 by 100 or 80 by 100. This is kind of an anomaly on this block. It's the last undeveloped parcel that has its own tax map number. Within the radius, though, one block to the east, within the 200-foot radius on North Broome, there are 3 parcels of similar size. Those are around 67 by 100. So it's a little nook of the town, again, because it's sandwiched between Sunrise Highway and the village of Lindenhurst, and it has kind of mixed zoning around it. Like I said, to the west is a multi-res development, and then to the north is the business E-zone, albeit with a residential home, and then with the commercial properties that you see along Sunrise Highway. The developer would agree to all the covenants, so this would be a single-family home, owner-occupied, no accessory apartment, and also indicated as no high ranch style, which I did note on that particular block. It does look like there's quite a few high ranch style homes, so a 2-story is not something strange for this block. I'm going to give the board the CO for the lot next door, and if the board has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
If you agree to all the covenants and restrictions, I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sure.
And on the environmental,
Yes, I see that they're recommending no basement. I don't believe the house has a basement,
I
but
didn't see one on there.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't have a copy of the house plans because when I submitted everything, I did not get my own copy.
Would you agree, no basement?
I believe that wouldn't be a problem.
didn't see it on there.
It doesn't indicate a basement on the survey. Obviously, I'd feel more comfortable if the house plans don't show a basement.
I didn't see one.
she didn't see it on the plan, so.
If it's not on the plans, then,
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that should be fine, right?
So you agree to- Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Then we're okay with that.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
Just a note, we'll change then the covenant restriction number 6 will be deleted.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, let's amend it before we approve it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we amend application 22-193 with deleting variance number 6.
Second.
Covenants and restrictions number 6.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve application 22-193 with the condition that they follow all covenants and restrictions and DEC comments.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
Just for the record, that's including all the CNRs on the planning memo as well.
Yes.
Yes. Next application is application 22-188 of Auto Pro Automotive Inc., property located in Deer Park. A lot of people. Name and address for the record, please.
Robert Rinaldi, 29 Ramsey Road, Comac, New York.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 14th, 2022, Environmental Control memo dated November 15th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have a copy of a fire marshal's report. I don't know if you have did you get a copy of that?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so there are some things that need to be cleaned up before we can move this application. Suffolk County Planning memo dated November 4th, 2022, decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. A survey by Frank Ward. Up here, last dated November 6th, 2013, tax map acting as an area map. A site plan by Spaces Architecture, dated June 1st, 2009, and
We have 7 photographs, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Correspondence number 2. Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, first, let me say happy holidays and good evening to the members of the board. I'm the owner and operator of Auto Pro Automotive Services. I've been in business in Deer Park for 49 years on Deer Park Avenue, and then built a building in 1983 on 18 Brandywine Drive. And the building was just sold, so I want to continue operation at 770-07 Grand Boulevard. In the 49 years in Deer Park, I've served Deer Park, North Babylon, and the surrounding areas. No violations, all taxes paid, and I would like to continue in business at 770 Grand Boulevard.
Okay. So there's a note here on the planning memo. Young's Auto Collision and Glass was that special exception permit expired in April of 2022. Are they still a tenant there?
I do see a
You're the
sign up.
landlord?
Yes.
Come on over.
I do see a sign up. It's directly across the parking lot from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need your name and address for the record, please.
Daniel McGee, 179 North Broadway, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so is Young still there?
They are not. The current tenant is Collision Solutions in that space, and they have their own approval.
Okay, so that you're the current tenant?
No, so a Young's Auto Collision and Glass was unit number, I think that's 13.
Okay.
He's in a different unit than Young's.
But Young's
than a Young's was. There was no prior approval in this unit.
Okay.
The current tenant in Young's space is Collision Solutions. They're a body shop.
Okay, and do they have approval, special
Yes.
exception? They do.
Yes.
Okay.
They moved in about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so they have approval. Okay.
Yeah, we've done the process there.
All right, so you've been in business a long time, you know how this all works, and,
Yes,
you've been, I'm sure, here a
49
bunch
years
of times.
in Deer Park, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the only thing we would ask for is the standard CNRs be, executed and recorded at the county.
I don't know what the
for auto body.
CNRs are.
So,
Covenants and restrictions.
Okay, all right, I got it.
you got it, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
You have to sign it.
Okay.
Send it in.
Okay, any other questions from the board? What's that say? Oh, yeah, are you doing any storage of automotive fluids or anything like that?
No, we do have some oil. We have less than 55-gallon drums.
Okay.
And they're in a containment, separate containment area. And I believe we meet all the restrictions there, yes.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's what they were asking about. Okay. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we still need, before we can move this application, we need you to take care of the fire marshal concerns. You have a copy of that, right?
Yes, yes, and the concern was the CO detector needed a battery, and there was a ladder against the building outside that he wanted moved.
He also wants you to...
And to apply for the annual fire permit.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
which I think we did today, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so the fire marshal will get back to us. Make sure you get him back to check on the other 2 items that were on there. Once
Yes, sir.
that's done, then we can move your application.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you very much, sir.
All right, thanks. Thanks for coming down. Good luck. See ya. For the record. Thanks. Yeah, you too. Oh, just adjourn, recuse yourselves.
Mr. Chairman, can we just have it for the record if we're dealing with applicants?
Yeah. Well, so, which one?
Are we closing the record for that?
Oh, Well, we're gonna leave it open, well, no, we're gonna leave the record open for fire marshal's report, I'm sorry. It's closed in reserve with the record is left open for the fire marshal report. Okay. So the next application is 22-194 of Carlo Garofaro. Right. Mr. Rigney and Mr. Dellavecchia are going to recuse on this application.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Okay, name and address for the record.
Salvatore Cuscia for Permits of Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York, 11791.
Okay. And you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, so for the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 11, 2022, a Environmental Control memo dated November 15, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Alexander Tuskerman, dated. Okay. Oh, March 4th, 2022, it's above the stamp. Tax map acting as an area map. And I also have a signed petition from 30 residents in the surrounding area that they have no objection to the existing garage shed deck front portico that is located at 185 Copeg Place in Copeg. And
Mr. Chairman, there's about 43 photographs.
there's a lot of photographs. Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So as you know, we're proposing to maintain the portico with a front yard setback of 21.5 feet, where the required is 30 feet, the deck and gazebo with a side yard setback of 7.7 feet, where the required is 10 feet, and the aggregate of the deck and gazebo from 25 feet to 19.7 feet. The portico's been there for 15 years, and the deck for over 4 years. The shed on the property is 170.4 square feet, which is 70.4 over the allowable area. We'd also like to maintain the garage. The garage has a side yard setback on the west side of 4.45 feet, where the required is 6 feet, and on the east side, the setback is 3 feet, where the required is 6, and the rear yard setback is 3.8, where the required is 6 feet. And as the board knows, the items for the front portico, the deck, gazebo, everything was approved on that aspect of it, except for the garage. The garage is being shown to cut back to conform in height and size, and it changed one of the setbacks on the west side. It was 0.9, it'll now be 4.45. As you know, you read the statement, that all the neighbors are in favor. He has spoken to pretty much every neighbor on the radius, and we respectfully request your approval tonight.
Okay, so on the original application, we approved 4 of these variances, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 7.
Correct.
So the other variances are now for the garage, which you have cut back. I think there was you want to make it bigger than the 500 square feet for a single-car garage?
The original garage was over height,
250,
over
I'm sorry.
size, and the setback on the west side of the property was actually 0.9.
Okay.
So it's being shown to be cut down to comply with height, to comply with size, and the setback is now no longer 0.9. On that west side, it'll be 4.45.
Okay, so you took care of a lot of things. So just real quick, and this was one of the things, so there is not going to be an additional driveway, it's just going to be the existing driveway?
Correct. The original application showed 2 curb cuts, 2 driveways. That's not going to be.
That's
It'll
not going to be?
Correct.
So I guess my only question really outside of that is then, so this is going to still be used as a garage? How are I guess he's keeping cars back there?
Yes, my client collects cars. As a previous hearing, I don't know if you have the original photos, but he has some valuable cars that were destroyed because of flooding in the area.
Right.
So he will be storing them in the garage, which is also why we eliminated the driveway on the right side of the property to the other side, so that they can drive right to the back, and he can store them there.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board?
Is the garage raised? I mean, how's that going to stop it from flooding?
No, the garage is not raised. It has a little bit of a lip to drive into, but unfortunately, the property's mud. So whenever the water floods in the front section of the property, the cars get flooded. So.
There are also DEC comments on this one. Property, again, this is, okay, appears to be in freshwater wetlands. Protection, the applicant can coordinate with the New York State DEC to ascertain jurisdiction with further activity on the site. So you need to check in with New York State DEC.
Yes, on the original application, they checked with DEC. They had no jurisdiction because the distance was enough to comply.
Was
But
enough.
on in future, they'll comply with that as well if they have to, but I don't believe he's developing the
Okay,
property anymore.
well, you need to, you just, for your own sake, you need to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
I'm going to stand aside because if
That's fine. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, I'm next door neighbor from 185
Okay,
Coppe Place.
I need your actual
Okay,
name
sure.
and address, okay?
My name is Francesco Pereiro. I live at 175 Coppe Place.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
So, yes, I'm
Okay.
next door neighbor, so I have no objection. Build the garage in the backyard where he has the garage. I have no problems with it.
Okay,
I'm next door neighbor.
thank you.
All right?
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Come on up. Name and address for the record?
Joaquin Velasquez. I am 180 Cope Place. I'm his front door neighbor, and I have no objections of what's going on.
Okay.
No
Thank you.
issues.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record?
I live at 273 Copeg Place, 2 houses away. I have no objections. He's a good person. He helps everyone in the neighborhood, and I don't think anyone has any objections.
Okay, thank you.
you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on the application?
Good evening. My name is Pasquale Picaret. I live on 190 Copeg Place. I have no objection, but
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
Hi, my name is Ainadian Fernando. I live in 275 Quebec Place, and I have no objection.
Thank you. Who else? There was a couple other people.
How you doing? My name is Adam Goodell. I live in 165 Copeg Place, and I have no objection. He's a good guy, so I live so long over there, and I've never had a problem with him, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard? Name and address for the record.
My name is Levi Vasquez. I live at the 170 Cope Play. It's in the Carlos da Fran. I don't have a problem.
Okay, thank you. I think we ran out of people. Would anybody else like to be heard on this application? Okay. Huh?
Good to go.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I make a motion to approve application 22-194. It's not as amended, it's a new application. Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much. Have a good night and happy Thanksgiving to
Sure.
everybody.
Okay, that's out of here.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Pamela Green, Office of the Town Attorney. Would the board like to revisit any of tonight's reserved applications?
Yes, please.
Anything in particular, Ms.
Number
McCullough?
2, application 22-189.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so,
Oh, just the shed thing?
yeah.
The tin roof.
So he said he'll adjust for
He would shingle it.
He said he would shingle it, which then it wouldn't,
fine in there.
whatever, yeah.
Well, I think the board recommended that there be a conversation with the
Yeah, I did.
neighbor.
So do we want to contact him to see if that happened? Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, too. So on that number one, with that concrete that's right up against the property line, do we need to do something with that, or?
Have to look into it. We don't generally do it if it's part of the driveway.
No.
It's not part of the
What,
driveway.
no, if I could explain it, because I couldn't figure out what the heck he had there anyhow. It's two big not slabs, but walls of concrete, and the middle's missing. Looked like you would, like, put a jet ski or a boat down there. But
Well,
there's no-
evidently, he put his car over there so he
Right.
could change his oil.
Yeah, pretty clever, you know.
Yeah, that's
It
pretty
was
cool. The
2 feet
beast
off
crawling under the
property
car,
line,
that's
I'd
what I
have no
used to
problem
do.
with it, you know.
But
It's
it's a
right up
permanent-
against the property, so
it's a
I didn't
permanent
want to set a
structure.
precedent.
It's a permanent structure,
It's, yeah.
but it's not on the survey.
Yeah, it's on the survey.
Oh.
Yeah. It's concrete. It's big and as deep and as high as those chairs.
So.
It's got a little ramp in the middle of it that I guess he used to, fall under and do his oil changes. Yeah, I thought I was like, what is this, like a boat slip? Like, what? I don't, or a jet ski?
So we can take a look at,
Yeah, I can take a look at it. I can talk to engineering and building plans examiners.
All right, I just didn't want to set a precedent with it being right up against the property lines.
then, moving on, from pages 6 to page 13, all applications remain reserved. There aren't no updates unless Ms. Riley has one.
Yeah, well, I have, no updates, just for Rollright, just so everyone's aware, they did submit their sign permit application, so hopefully it's very soon for all of them together. But then also on page 9, for the height variance, Mr. Russo, I don't anticipate the applicant submitting anything else. I believe he is waiting on a decision from the board.
This was the elevator.
The 1 foot from the top, that was, right?
You put an elevator in or something?
This was the case that had a
1.187.
prior approval, but it predated Hurricane Sandy, and the board was quite firm that since that time, they've been consistent in not allowing any height variances. The applicant is no longer represented by counsel. That was, those concerns were relayed to council, and I believe they've been relayed to Mr. Russo as well, but I believe he's indicated he's not interested in changing his request.
I'll make a motion to deny the application and refer to council application 22-153.
Second.
All in favor?
And any other updates? Okay. Which brings us to the,
I'm sorry, the case 12 CLS Pine Homes, they just gave revised plans this afternoon, so we will review it
Next meeting.
for the next meeting.
okay, brings us to our correspondence page. As the chairman noted, that there was a petition from the neighbors for application 22-194. There was a letter from Mr. Rinaldi regarding application 22-188, and then there was an email regarding application 22-184. This was heard at the last agenda, and Mr. Dellavecchia was concerned that there was an appearance of a second front door. The applicant at the time of the hearing agreed to remove it, only to send this letter stating that it is not a second front door, it is a side door. Mr. Dellavecchia would still like to have that door moved to the back, so I believe Ms. Riley is going to contact Mr. Toth to relay that concern. So there's no action to take on that at this time, which then brings us to adopting the findings for 22-121 Ure Vaca. This was the property with the outdoor kitchen inside the gazebo, and if the board had any questions on the findings, which they had already reviewed.
Ms. McCullough.
What am I doing?
Approve the findings.
Make a
This
motion
is-
to
with the barbecue and the
Oh,
smoker, pizza oven,
Yeah.
and I'm approving the findings?
approving the findings to deny.
I approve the findings to deny. Application 22-121.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Which brings you to having some reading over your holiday for the minutes of October 27th and November 3rd. And also, please review the proposed 2023 Zoning Board of Appeals hearing schedule and offer any comments back to the zoning office for any other proposed meeting dates. And with that, it concludes your
I'll make a motion to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Okay.
Thank you all.